I personally see there is no need to build houses in the hilly area or mountain areas unless it is really necessary.
Very denial of information itself, there may be certain risks that are not being disclosed to them.
I don't know, probably stand in front of bulldozers.
This man might just have to do so if the planned development at the Gasing Hill goes on. The developers Gasing Meridian and Sanctuary Ridge have planned to build 68 luxury bungalows on a 15.5 hectare site on the hill amidst protests by residents for their safety. Their concern is justified. 49% of the said land consists of slopes measuring 26 to 35 degrees or higher, while 37% slopes between 16 to 25 degrees. When a landslide happens, it would affect all the 3 towers on the Gasing Hill and houses which are at the foot of the hill. A chat with Kelly Wong from the Sanctuary Ridge revealed that the developers have sold 20 plots of land out of the total 68. While the buyers would get their land titles in 2 years, they would also be allowed to build according to individual designs and plans. While their plans would include retaining walls, these walls would not stop the movement of debris when a landslide occurs.
We are worried. What are they doing in terms of foundation work? What type of drilling? What type of retaining walls? Because all this affects not only how secure your what we call slope retention measures are, it also affects what would happen to the neighborhood.
Furthermore, there is a reservoir at the development site which holds 23 million litres of water. The reservoir is built right above the 3 towers, bringing on the concern of a possible leakage of water. Furthermore, any development could also affect the structure of the reservoir, flooding the entire area and washing out the 3 towers and other homes. One landslide occurred in March 2007 after renovation works were carried out on a Hindu temple on Bukit Gasing itself. On January 5th the following year, another landslide followed near the same temple. The opposition-led Selangor government has put a stop to all developments on the hillside which comes under its jurisdiction. The proposed construction of luxury homes falls under the scope of the UMNO-led ruling government. Bukit Gasing is also highly susceptible to land erosion due to its soil composition.
About 50% of the hill slopes are above 25 degrees gradient. That is a class 3. Combined with the geological structure that's being established and not disputed by them as primarily sandstone, shale and interbeds of quartz. For all intents and purposes, from what we have been advised, that is not a very cohesive ground in terms of ability to build proper foundations, to retain and make it safe.
The fate of Bukit Gasing was sealed when the High Court judgment threw out the application by 108 residents for a judicial review to challenge the development order issued by the Kuala Lumpur mayor. In her judgment, High Court Judge Aziza Ali said the proposed building site is private land and not one that was earmarked for green lungs. She also stated that the Federal Territories Planning Act 1982 applies to the development and therefore the residents would not have the right to be heard on the development unless if it falls within the rules under the Town and Country Planning Act 1976, which did not apply in this case.
It is, in my opinion, not a correct decision at all. Every municipal council, every city council in the whole of Peninsular Malaysia, and I'm a city councillor myself, always under the relevant laws give a right for a neighbouring landowner to present their views on the development. The particular residents here are not asking that their view be the final decision, but they be given the right to know what is going on and to make representations in relation to possible risk to themselves. Everybody practices it. It is only in Kuala Lumpur, for some special reason, that they deny a resident a right to be heard unless there is a change in use of the land or a change in density.
The question here is if this case could merely be about the law and jurisdiction, as it raises important questions of planning policies of City Hall, involves the lives of thousands of residents, and is clearly an environmentally risky project. Let's now look at some statistics of landslides in Malaysia. Over the last 15 years, at least 14 major landslides occurred in peninsular Malaysia alone that led to the death of 68 persons. The Highland Tower collapse and Bukit Antarabangsa disaster has not been forgotten. The rotting structure of the Highland Tower should send clear signals to the government and the Kuala Lumpur City Hall. The corridors of the luxury condominiums house the shattering cries and pain of its residents who were crushed to death when the buildings fell. Morbid images of decomposed bodies and the anguish of mourning relatives is yet to be wiped off our memories. Despite these tangos with tragedy, the developer and Kuala Lumpur City Hall have not entertained residents' requests for copies of the soil and other tests that allegedly prove Bukit Gasing can be safely developed. There's also questions if the City Council has indulged in backdoor deals with the developer to push through the project. While engineering technology has progressed to allow for hill slope development, experts say that the culture of building in Malaysia invites disasters. A check at the proposed building site also revealed that the drains have not been cleaned and the hoardings put up by the developers have not been maintained.
We know building using the method of cutting and filling may be safe temporarily, because the cases that we have seen after a few years, or maybe 10 years or 15 years, the slope that they are created while cutting, and also a slope that they are creating in filling, will start having a problem. So most of the slope failure in tropical region, in a region like us, is not on the natural slope, but rather on man-made slope.
Most of the residents here come from the middle income group and do not have the means to simply walk out of their homes or buy a safer place. And all they ask for is a public hearing from the Kuala Lumpur City Council to air their concerns on the environmental and safety issues concerning the project. This request remains denied at the time this video was made.
It's not just one person's life. We're talking about 280 units just here in Fraser Towers alone, and that's so many lives at stake.
The whole purpose of our struggle is to say to DBKL, we believe it's unsafe, our lives and property are at risk, give us a hearing.
Later, when people die, they come up with all kinds of rubbish excuses, blaming this, blaming that. The famous language in Malaysia is when somebody dies as a result of hill slope, they blame God, they say act of God. So that shows the mentality of the regulators.